Hi, my name is Marlena McWilliams. I am the principal owner and team lead of Mascotti and Company at Keller Williams Capital Properties. I am originally from Denver, Colorado. I've been out in DC going on 15, 16 years though. After graduating from Tuskegee University with a finance degree, coming and working in government contracting at Lockheed Martin, DHS, DOD, and various other employers, I found my love in real estate. Once I found that love, I decided to go full-time about 4 years ago. Bounced around to a couple of boutique brokerages and then landed at Century 21, and now have started my team and my bigger career at Keller Williams. I am a mother. I have a son who's 8 years old. He's the love of my life, so I spend most of my time with him. I've been to over 8 countries, continuing to travel. I like to get out at least 2 to 3 times a year. But I'm a family person, so I spend a lot of time with my family. So DC is unique because of the transient nature. We have so many government officials and contractors that come in, and also big businesses, like we have Amazon coming right in Crystal City. He's changing that whole environment, calling Landing Square, which is going to be unique. So that's what makes DC unique, is that there's always going to be diverse culture, people coming and meeting in minds. And there seems to be a lot of inspiring businesses that are born here in DC and then spring out into other areas. So I really love that, and that's what makes the real estate market always strong here, is that because of the transient nature, we always have people that are moving in and out, selling their properties, or keeping them as rentals and able to build financial wealth here. DC, of course, we thought the pandemic was going to slow us down as a real estate market, but it didn't. Families realized they needed more space, or that maybe they were tired of living in the same space. So they decided to, we saw a little change of them going out to the outskirts of DC, so around the Beltway. And I am licensed in all 3 states, so Maryland, Virginia, and DC, we do service all those. So we kind of saw that. But now that it's kind of quieted down, people are coming back in the city. Condos seem to be a little bit of a deal during 2020, where houses were lasting only like a day. People were getting 20, 30 offers, 40 offers. It was a frenzy. But now we're still seeing it stabilize. But the good thing about homeowners is that if you owned in DC, you've gained about anywhere from 8 to about 18% in equity over just the last year of valuation of your home, because prices have risen, and there's so many buyers, and the supply and demand factor on the housing market that occur here. Yeah, well, first you want to get a great agent like myself. I mean, seriously. But no, seriously, for buyers, tactics, one of them is make your offer competitive. You're in a competitive market, and DC is a mecca of cultural explosion. So it's going to be always a need and a want for the city. So you want to be very competitive, removing any contingencies that you can, but being mindful of the risks that you're taking. I would also say writing a letter, telling the homeowner what you love about the place. It always goes the extra mile, because people are emotionally attached to their homes. This is where they raise their families or live for the majority of their lives. And then I would also tell buyers to make sure that they are knowing their needs and wants, what they're willing to give up on and what they're not. We all have to find that balance of that 80-20 rule. I would say that we don't expect any prices to drop. So people are asking that. We will see some foreclosures, but not a lot, especially not in DC proper. You might see some in the outskirts, but it's not gonna be a drone of them. I would tell people to buy now. I think the prices are gonna continue to rise until about 2023, and then they'll probably flatline. We need a little flatline, right? It's a market, so we need it to kind of rise, flatline, and then stabilize. So we'll probably see that because the Fed has announced that they'll probably raise the rates a couple times next year, which will again affect buying power for buyers, which will cause some of that flatlining to occur. But I do predict it will continue to rise for another year in prices. So for example, if you're buying something at $300,000 for simple numbers, it's probably gonna be $318 next year, and then $336, and just keep going up. So I would tell people to get out there and buy, because we do not predict a crash or a fall down or anything of that nature. So I would definitely tell you, one of the things my team offers is a first-time home buyer consultation. take one of those. There's lots of agents that do it and banks that offer it. I would tell them to research the programs. If down payment money is a problem for you, there are great programs in DC that you can utilize. If you're borrowing money but at a low interest rate right now, it's still a win. Of course, get a great lender. I work with Zach at Fairway. He's very knowledgeable and honest, so you want a lender on your side like that. And then I would tell them, also do your research, but don't be afraid to jump. Yeah, so surprisingly, Northwest has always been vibrant. It's come a long way from when I started here 15 years ago, but because it popped about 10 years ago, it's very busy. Nightlife, buzzing, but it does have its private neighborhoods tucked away when you start getting in deep Petworth. But if you're in the 16th Street Heights area, it's gonna be more buzzing, more live, more lively. So if you like that, you wanna be close, we're gonna have a lot of metro stops over there for accessibility and bus stops. If you go over, on the other side of Northwest and start going into closer to the Southwest side, you can get to the Palisades or Georgetown. And those are more upscale neighborhoods, higher prices, definitely high fashion boutiques that you can go shopping, which I do go and partake every now and then. You can go over by the waterfront and enjoy the river by Sequoia or any of those restaurants over there. And then as you start coming on the Northeast side, I actually live in Northeast DC about 10 years ago. It's a great place to live. I think it's one of the best hubs because you can get on the highway on 495 and ride into either Maryland or Virginia. And then it has H Street. So a lot of the areas have their key street. So in Northwest, there's Georgia. In Northeast, there's the H Street corridor. And then you go over to Adams Morgan in Northwest, that's another popping street. So H Street's over here. H Street is very interesting. It is definitely the most cultural, I would say, in my personal opinion. So you have everybody from every walk of life living over here in Northeast because it grew later after the city started progressing. And so everybody from every walk of life is over here. You see families, you see singles, you see multicultural people. It's amazing and I love it. And then when you start going into Southeast, you cross over the river. If you're on Southeast of this side of the river, you have Capitol Hill, which is again another prestigious area and neighborhood. You have the Eastern Market, which I personally love, and you can go over there and shop on Saturdays and Sundays. Get some fresh meat, fish, get a fresh drink, or get some of the Belgian waffles. And then you can go over to Southeast side, which is definitely growing. And I would tell all buyers that if you're looking for equity growth, that's where you want to go. There might be a little bit of riffraff, but as the city is changing, it's going to be a great place to live. And it has some of the most beautiful views if you go on the Southeast side and you go up on top of the hills. And that's why developers are over there buying feverishly because you can't get those sites anywhere else. So Southeast has a lot of, Marvin Gaye Park, has a lot of recreation center, and then it has the famous Berry Farms, which is finally being redeveloped, which is actually historic land. It's where Freeman's Village was established from Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. So a lot of culture, a lot of rich things here in DC that we all should love, embrace, and just live together in harmony, hopefully. DC is gonna be a little bit slower than New York, so you can still get your quiet neighborhood feel, but still have the hustle and bustle. Baltimore is not built up yet. We think it's gonna have a wave here soon, now that they're gonna have the train to connect Baltimore and DC in 15 minutes. But it still has a lot of growing to do. So if you wanna be in a place where it's already has grown up, it's like a 20, 30-year-old person kind of knows who it is now, and is just flourishing out the road, DC is where you wanna be. One of the things that I quietly participate is car show. I like to look at the cars. I like to drive them, so that is a big event here in DC. Since I have a child, Comic-Con cuts here, and the comic books, that's a fun event for families here in DC. And then, of course, the Wharf has lots of events now. They have family movie nights, workout nights that you can go to, so that's always fun. And then they have these park days that I've become in love with, where you can bring your children, and if you don't have children, you come hang out. And it's like a community park day where people grill and bring different potluck items that you can enjoy. So I would definitely tell people to enjoy all that here in DC. And then if you're just looking for more quiet things, there's always tons of lounges and restaurants that you can visit. And then a quiet park that you can always find. And then every street has what they call market days. So on Saturday and Sundays, it's a little vibrant market. And they have H Street Festival, U Street Festival, Adams Morgan Festival, and Georgia Street Festival. So So these are festivals that occur in the city on a particular day. Outside of the city, there's a lot of things to do as well. You can go up to Lincoln, Maryland. They have a wine festival, different events every month. And then they have the Ciroc Festival at the Wharf and at the National Level. And then of course we have the MGM, which has all types of concerts and things you can enjoy. You guys can find me at Mascotti Co. That's my IG, Facebook, and Twitter. Personally, I'm Marlena the Realtor. That's my IG, personal, and Twitter and LinkedIn. So we are Mascotti & Company at Keller Williams Capital Properties. We're here in DC, we're licensed in all 3 states, and we're willing to serve you. That is one of our core values. Our slogan is, we're your household lucky.